Welcome to another video for Global Scholarship for International Students, and today we'll be covering a topic about Danish Government Scholarships. And one of the things that you should know that it has restricted requirements. So for example, it has restricted nationality requirements. You need to be from either Brazil, China, Egypt, Japan, South Korea, or Russia in order to be eligible for this scholarship. If you're not from one of these countries listed above, you cannot apply for this scholarship, okay? So the amount of financial aid awarded by Danish government scholarships, I just want to let you know that it might not be enough since it only covers free tuition and gives you monthly stipend to cover for your accommodation, your living expenses, your room and board, and also your transportation. So your monthly stipend is not enough to cover all of that, okay? So if we go to the official website, which is right here, the link to this website is included in the video description down below. We can see that the explanation for Danish government scholarship says it is a long-term scholarships of 5 to 12 months offered to exchange students enrolled in higher education institutions of the following countries. So this is not a full degree program, but it's an exchange program because it says exchange students, and you need to be a student enrolled in higher education institutions of the following countries. So you need to be enrolled in master's or PhD level students. However, you can also apply when you have a bachelor's degree, even though you might be studying even though you might be an undergraduate student, you can still apply for Danish government scholarships if you're wishing to study a Danish language and literature. Okay, so if you wish to study Danish language and literature, you can apply for the scholarships. But the prerequisite for the scholarship for bachelor degree students is that you have to at least study Danish language for 2 years at your institution. Okay, and just a reminder that you need to be enrolled at one of your institutions at your home country. And there's a list of Danish institutions offering long-term scholarships in 2020 and 2021, which we have set up over here. And as you can see, these are the list of institutions in Denmark that are part of the Danish government scholarship program. And if we come back here, there's a several note about financial aid and just saying that fees for international students you have to watch out for. The scholarship period is listed when you click on each country. So everything here, general information, scholarship amount, is listed more specifically. But as you can see here, the scholarship amount only includes free tuition and monthly stipend. And as you can see, please note that living expenses in Denmark are generally high, and that housing, especially in larger cities, is often very expensive. The scholarship will most likely not cover all expenses, so that means you have to pay partially for your educational fees. And I don't know if that is big or small, but you need to be prepared to pay. Okay, so if you're not prepared to pay, don't apply for this scholarship. And as you can see, the application deadline for the scholarship is currently closed. And even though it is closed, I just want to remind you guys that when you face a scholarship application, when you're faced with a scholarship that is closed, when the application deadline is closed, you need to mark the application deadline so that you can note it for future reference. Since scholarships are great for international students because they offer financial support, because we need financial support in order to stay there. And since this needed financial support, it is often recommended, even though you might wait 1 year or maybe less than that. The maximum is 1 year because every scholarship is renewed year by year. So the maximum wait that you can do is 1 year, and it can be less than that because the application deadline might be open at a closer date than March 1st. So you need to keep in mind that even though application deadline might be close, you can still apply at next time, the later time, okay? So the application form will be probably be included here. So if we want to look at the specific countries, we can click on Brazil, the first one, for example, and we can see that there are 3 types of scholarships being offered for students in Brazil. There are scholarships for 5 to 12 months for PhD students, which is an exchange program. You can choose from 1 to 2 semesters, okay? So for PhD students, for master's students, and also for bachelor students who study Danish language and literature. And as you can see, you can conduct full-time research at Danish University or at a similar institutions of higher education in Denmark. And this is only available for PhD students. And master's students are required to take a course load of 30 ECTS per semester, which is probably a full-time class load. And as you can see, you can study Danish language and literature at a Danish institution only if you have studied the Danish language at your university for 2 years. And there's a selection criteria and also for the ineligibility. Make sure to read that too. And as you can see, how to apply, download the application form, complete it, and submit it, and all the required documents. But the problem is the application deadline is closed, so you cannot download the application form yet. So the reason that I released this video, even though the application deadline is closed, is to remind you that you can still apply, but you have to wait. So you have to wait for the scholarship, but make sure that there's a lot of requirements that are going on around here. So if you do want to apply for the scholarship, even though you might have to wait, make note, just reread all the eligibility requirements listed by Danish Government Scholarships. And just keep in mind that you can apply again since the application deadline will end, and it will begin another new application rounds for prospective applicants. Okay? And I hope this helps, and I will see you in the next video.